As a final test of the power that can be generated by the twisted rope catapult, the Latin students of Wayne High School cocked their machine a final time with the aid of the Army Reserve and prepared to fire the heaviest projectile thrown by any modern catapult, a 600-pound boulder. Amid speculations that the firing arm would break, the giant projectile is hoisted onto its platform. And so Imperator demonstrates that the power of torsion can hurl a 600-pound boulder 15 feet and 8 inches. The Army Reserve again gives a hand as the Latin students of Lakeland High School, LaGrange, Indiana, unload their catapult Neptune III onto the field. These students have also determined to study the power of torsion, but with a machine designed to hurl spears. Concerning such a machine, Vitruvius had written in the 1st century B.C. that its dimensions are all in a ratio proportionate to the length of the arrow which the machine is to let fly. Continuing the reliance on medieval sketches, Lakeland Latin students also used gears to create the torsion on their spear-hurling catapult. This is the 3rd year the students have been experimenting with their spear thrower, and they have long since learned that the gears make it much easier to get the necessary torsion twisted into the ropes. The firing track of Neptune III is tilted so that it will propel the spear at approximately a 45-degree angle. The trigger is released, and the spear travels 483 feet and 6 inches before striking the ground. In 1685, Robert Boyle wrote, "By the elastical force of the bent bow, the string is brought into a violent state of tension." Boyle, however, was interested in the tension on the bowstring and not the tension of the bow itself. It was not until the early 1800s that a French mathematician named Simeon Denis Poisson determined a formula that could be used for studying the tensions of the bow. The Romans, working thousands of years before Poisson, may not have shared his mathematical theories, but did have a working knowledge of how to harness the power of tension, which these students of Latin in Pascagoula, Mississippi, have been among the first to rediscover. These Pascagoula High School Latin students received no help from the writings of the Roman engineer Vitruvius, as he only described machines powered by twisted rope. These students also ignored the distracting medieval sketches. They considered only their source of power, the size of their projectile, and the trajectory meter. They then designed their catapult accordingly. Rebellorum is the name of their machine, and it is a study in simple efficiency. Their catapult is comparatively lightweight and relatively easy to operate. Once loaded, however, it becomes an engine of war that even the Romans would have been eager to have at their disposal. Shooting its spear 668 feet and 3 inches, Rebellorum holds the record for the farthest projectile hurled by any authentically powered catapult built in modern times. In Wilmington, Ohio, competition is also drawing to a close. The catapult is Petrobulus II and is the best counterweight catapult that has been built to date. The machine is a winner both in design and in performance. During the day's official shots with 20, 30, 40, 50, and 75-pound rocks, 5 modern catapulting records were set that will be hard to beat in future years. There are many details that demand the careful attention of the crew as they prepare to fire their machine a final time. The firing hook on which the loose end of the sling will rest has a crucial angle that requires constant adjustment for each different weight rock loaded into the sling. Bending the hook too far down can cause the sling to release too soon and fire the rock backwards or up into the air. If the hook is bent too far up, it will not release the sling soon enough, and the rock will be fired into the ground directly in front of the catapult. The sling, too, must be carefully adjusted. It must lie flat, have a clear path, and be in no danger of becoming twisted as the catapult fires. The projectile must be loaded with great care so that it is held snugly by the sling and will not roll out when the sling is jerked into motion. Of course, the lines of the sling must have the strength to withstand the strain of firing a 75-pound rock. This is what the Latin students of Wilmington High School have built into their catapult, and this is why they have the best counterweight machine built to date. When Petrobulus II is fired, its 75-pound projectile soars over 237 feet. And of course, the students begin to speculate about even greater achievements for the next year. And so the story goes, with more students each year learning from experience just how vast a body of knowledge still lies concealed in unrecorded history.